Did you know Santa drank reindeer urine to watch them fly? The Sami are the indigenous people of northern Scandinavia and Kola Peninsula, which is modern-day Norway, Sweden, Finland, and northwest Russia, living basically near the North Pole for at least 5,000 to 10,000 years. They were semi-nomadic. They centered around reindeer herding, fishing, and hunting, with a culture totally distinct from Norse or Christian societies. Genetically, the Sami were closer to ancient Arctic and Siberian populations with physical adaptations for extreme cold and darkness. Basically a cool genetic profile within Europe. Sami spirituality was animalistic and shamanic. They worshiped nature, ancestral forces, and especially the sun for obvious reasons. In the Arctic, the winter solstice was huge because the sun disappears for weeks. And its return meant surviving, making babies, and renewal. So they lit fires, used torches, burned fat, and dragged evergreen life inside to remind themselves the world wasn't actually ending. Their shaman were called Neodi. They used drums and trance states to travel between worlds to restore balance. These solstice rituals involved feasting, offerings, chanting, and rhythm, ancient caroling, because group sound probably kept people sane in the dark. Sacred reindeer, symbolic clothing made from animal skins, antlers, bells, and drums painted like cosmic maps all showed up. Basically early Christmas aesthetics before they got Disneyfied. Later, Norse Yule rolled in and stacked alcohol on top of these celebrations. Christianity eventually absorbed Yule and slapped a new logo on it and called it Christmas, rebranding paganism. Between 1100 and 1600 AD, the Sami were forcibly Christianized, their drums burned, and shamans were persecuted, but many symbols quietly survived after their whole Love Thy Neighbor episode. That's where Santa gets weird, because red clothing looks a lot like traditional Sami gagati. Reindeer are central to Sami life, and shamans symbolically entered homes through roof openings when they were communing with spirits, because smoke, roofs, and chimneys are spiritual highways. Now add the fly agaric mushrooms, red and white spots growing under pine trees like presents, ritually used by Arctic shamans, eaten by reindeer, and dried by the fire like stockings or ornaments. And flying journeys, bells, elves, and magical deliveries start sounding less like a fairy tale and more like someone actually tripping. Finland later branded Lapland as Santa's home, with Victorian culture and Coca-Cola polished the image into the version we know today. And before I get a Poindexter commenting their interesting fact, Red Santa was not invented by Coke. It was just aggressively commercialized by it. Cookies and milk look suspiciously like echoes of offerings to spirit. Elves resemble common psychedelic entities. And maybe the biggest gift isn't presence at all, but actual presence in the moment that is commonly induced from these experiences, because like mushrooms growing from decay, many Christian ideas of rebirth, resurrection, kindness, and forgiveness seem to echo much older pagan truths, which means Christmas might not be about Jesus or Santa, but about humans desperately trying to survive the dark and convincing themselves the light will come back.